Hi guys, like I said, we're gonna be taking a look at the Funko Legacy Collection Rocketeer figure. I picked this up at the same time as I picked up the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie figures, and I think this one was a much better buy. Let me get him out of the box here. As you can see, it's got a nice box. It's got some gold foiling and very nice. There's a nice backdrop of the simulation of the Rocketeer poster, if I remember correctly. And there's a nice image here on the back of the Rocketeer and the character from the movie, as well as the one from the poster. Very nicely done. And let's get him open here and we'll take a look at the figure itself. This figure stands just over 6 inches tall, just a smidge higher than 6. It's about 6 1/4 or so. He's very articulated. He's got elbow joints, swivel at the elbow. The hands rotate. They have a hinge. His waist rotates and has a slight up and down motion, so you can get a little bit of a crunch there. The head is on a ball joint. Looks up about that much. It doesn't go too far because of the hair in the way, but it looks down. Full rotation. You can go side to side a little bit on it too if you want to have kind of a questioning pose on him. The arms don't go up too far because of the sculpting, but you can always turn them up and whatnot, and it'll be all right. Legs move up. They're double jointed knees. They're very tight joints, especially when you first get it out of the package. They loosen up a little bit, but they're still pretty tight. Rotates there at the thigh. No boot cut. Has a slight ankle pivot there, but not much. And then the feet go forward and back. Very nice sculpt on him. Has all the detail that I can remember from the movie. You can see the straps for the rocket pack there. And the rocket pack itself is very nicely sculpted. Lots of fine detail, ribbing, for the vents, little rivets even, and if you look very closely, you can even see the gum that they use to plug the leak in the fuel tanks. The engines, or the thrusters, are just sort of capped. It would have been nice to maybe have a little bit of a thruster detail in there, but it's not too bad. The flaps are just molded in place, so you can't pivot those up and down. It would have been nice to see him included, have a flight stand included with him, so you could do, some aerial poses. It would have been nice if his head could tilt back a little bit farther, so that you can have him kind of looking forward. But overall, it's very well done. You can get a lot of, really cool Rocketeer style poses. He includes a Mauser gun. For anybody that doesn't know, this is the same type of gun that they used for Han Solo's blaster in all the Star Wars movies. I can't remember exactly what type of Mauser it is, but it's a broom handle Mauser. And that fits in his hand pretty well. Maybe could do with being a little bit more snug, but it's not too bad. The likeness isn't quite there in the face. I've never been particularly impressed with the likenesses and the Funko figures, but it's not terrible, but I've seen better. I've seen worse, too. The head is removable. It comes with an alternate head, which is the helmet. Instead of making it removable, they just made it an alternate head. And it's in a soft, rubbery plastic, so you don't have to worry about the fin breaking off. And again, he only looks up about so far, so you can't really have the full-on, looking forward while he's flying pose, even if you had a flight stand that worked with him. But, you can get some kind of cool poses. Like, I've had him on my shelf for a couple of days with the gun pointed out, and then the other hand kind of across his chest like this, looking down the barrel of the gun. I think that's a pretty cool pose. It's fairly Rocketeerish, which, again, the articulation could be better, but, especially in light of, having just at the same time gotten those Power Rangers figures, the articulation's leaps and bounds above those, as are the paint details. They did sort of a wash on his pants to give them a like slightly dirtier, grungier look. And that's really about the only place they gave a wash to. The boots have a slight kind of looks like a dry brushing to make them look worn, but the coat doesn't have any of that. The coat, the jacket just kind of looks fairly new. It would have been nice to maybe see a little bit of weathering on that as well to kind of match the pants. But overall, it's a very nice figure. I would definitely recommend picking this up, especially if you're a Rocketeer fan. And if you're not a Rocketeer fan, if you haven't seen the movie or whatever, I would recommend checking it out. It's actually a pretty cool movie. It was made by the same people that made, or the same director that made the first Captain America movie, if I remember correctly. So, definitely worth a look. But that's the Rocketeer, guys. Again, I was pretty pleased with this figure. He was about $20. I picked him up, at the same time I picked up the Power Rangers figures, which were about the same price. So for the same price as those, it's definitely a far superior figure. There could be improvements, but this is Funko's first venture really into doing, really articulated figures. I actually think this is their first one. The box has a number 1 on it, and I don't recall them ever doing articulated figures before this outside of their reaction line, which, those are just like basic 5 points of articulation, so those really don't count. But, yeah, for, $20, it's definitely worth the buy, especially if you're a fan of the series. And maybe if you're not a fan of the series, seeing this in person might get you to check it out, because it's a pretty cool figure anyway. It's got some really cool details, and it just has a really cool look to it, which is one of the things that drew me to the Rocketeer in the first place. But that's it for this review. I will see you guys next time.